What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Nick, and today we're going over out-of-the-box tones for my Gretsch Renown kit that's brand new, out of the box. So here I have the video along with the mix here in Logic. Real quick, the sizes of the kit are 24 by 14 kick, 13 by 9 rack tom, and a 16 by 16 floor tom. The toms both have clear emperors, as well as the clear, probably ambassadors from Gretsch on the bottom. And then on the kick, we have an Evans UV Mad, the UVE Mad, because the Remo Power Stroke 3 that came with it was slightly warped, and I didn't want to damage my shell. So still out of the box, out of an Evans box, still counts. Has the skinny strip on it, no muffling inside. None of these drums have muffling. And then the snare drum featured in this video is my Verve, my first kit, starter kit snare, 14 by 5.5 steel, and that has an Evans Power Center reverse dot on it. Now, here we're going to start off, no processing, no mix bus, no nothing, and then I'll turn the reverb on, which, mentioning the reverb, it is the UAD Hitsville Chambers, and I love this thing. We are rocking the R44s and the Alt 605, all max, everything high except for the high EQ, lows boosted too. Man, I love this thing. Normally I would record this in, so that way I can't tinker with it. The reverb is just what it is, but here I have it as a send so I can tinker with it, because why not? So without further ado, me yapping, here is out of the box raw tones, no processing, and then I will add the mix bus, and then we will go over each individual channel one by one. So without further ado, Gretsch Renown out of the box tones. I forgot to mention the microphones. That would be important, right? So for kick out, we have Aston Origin, large diaphragm condenser. It's dirty, kind of. I got it used, so it is what it is. I love it as kick out, love it as crotch. Maybe throw it as mono overhead sometime soon. Kind of get like a 35, or maybe just like a one mic kind of thing with it. We'll see. But mono overhead pictured here now is the Slate Digital ML1 modeling microphone. We're not doing any modeling with it here today, just leaving it plain Jane to match with the V67 side mic, which is for the Glyn Johns, which is the overhead setup that I have going on, as well as a V67 room mic, which is just behind the old camera here, right by the door. So without further ado, raw tones, nothing on it. I'll throw the reverb in a second, and then I will add the mix bus, and then we'll break it down track by track. Here we go. Gonna add the reverb in 3, 2, 1. Just sending kick and the room mic to the reverb. That's it. Going to add the primary plugins that I use on the mix bus. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, so there you go. Get the idea. To a certain degree. Anyway, let's break this down. So starting off, we have the API channel strip. I top-down mix. That's why we're starting here. EQ, not doing too much here on the channel strip. You could use any channel strip you want. I like this API right now for this. Sounds kind of vintagey a little bit. So EQ not doing too much. Just passing a little bit above 30. And then here, first layer of compression. We're doing light 2-to-1, maybe 2-to-2 ratio, and then threshold high. And you'll see we're getting about 3 dB max compression. That's it. That's all you want. It's not doing too much, right? It's just tapping with the compressor and taking a little 500 out. That's it. And then we're going to add the API 2500 bus compressor. This one's a little bit higher of a ratio, still fast release, slow attack. I didn't mention on this one, same thing, slow attack, going soft knee, and type new. And last but not least is the Ampex tape machine, which I have at 30 IPS right now, but I typically love at 7.5 IPS. Something per second, that's all I know. We'll go back to the 30. Now that is pretty much the mix there. Everything else that's happening, minus this layer of compression, including here on the mix bus, that's all for fun. Here it's just tone, and that's it. So without further ado, let's break it down track by track. Let's solo the kick mic. Here's kick, nothing on it, with the bus processing on. Let's turn the Neve on. Taking out a little bit of 36, 360, whatever you want to call it. Boosting a little bit of 110. High pass at 50 and a smidgen taken off the high end. Now for the tape machine, using the Studer. See, this is where the tone comes in. Takes off a lot of that high end. Taking a lot of the little bit of punchy mid-range out too. Change the tape. Either the 900 or the GP9 I like the most. Just down here, we'll add it later, is the DBX 160. Doing, smacking a little bit harder, but we'll add that in later. All right, so now let's do the mono overhead, which here we'll put it down the middle. We'll do that with the side mic as well to hear it nice and even. So here we are, mono overhead. Processing still on. Neve coming on in now. And again, I'm not doing anything. I'm just adding a little bit of color. Not doing anything on the EQ, nothing. And that's the same here on the side mic, doing exactly the same. Nothing. A little bit warmer of the mic. Definitely a little bit more body, but it's also closer to the kit than the overhead is. They're both equal distant, but this one's a little bit closer. two of them together. Now I'll pan them. These off. And it's not doing anything except just adding the preamp color to it. Just very minute. Now I see people online debate, Glyn John's kick is pulled to the right, snare is pulled to the left, or vice versa. Nothing is really truly in the center. Okay, that's how it is. That's how it's recorded. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not about this like perfection kind of thing that everyone likes now. If the kick pulls to one side, it pulls to one side. If the snare pulls to one side, it pulls to one side. Okay. Of course, genre dependent and production dependent, but if you're just recording drums and you're using the Glyn John's method, yeah, guess what? One instrument's going to pull more to the other microphone than the other. So be it. All right, let's move on. Tape on both are doing the same exact thing. It's going to add color. Here, I'll add both at the same time and take away at the same time. Here we go. Just kind of elevates it just a smidge, right? It's not doing too much. Again, GP9, just barely tapping it. Calibration at 6. 7.5 IPS, if I didn't mention it. All of the tape is on 7.5, except for the master. And then again, we'll add the compressors later, but doing like 2 to 3 dB. That's it. Now let's go to the room. Pull up a little bit. Turn the reverb off. And here we go. Put the Neve in 3, 2, 1. Taking out a little low, which I kind of don't like anymore. And taking out a lot of 300. A little bit of 300, not that much. High passing to 80. That's it. Not doing too much again. Tape is where the tone's gonna come in. There we go. Makes it more mid-rangey. Bring everything back together. See, and now when the kick and the room mic are in, snare and kick are pretty much in the center. So, it's not that big of a deal. I don't have a direct snare mic on for this instance, but you'll see that in another video where if you have a snare mic, it pulls it even more in the center, and you don't have to worry about the imperfections of the left-right stereo image. So, back with everything on. Turn everything off. See how it just kind of flattens out. Everything on. Now it feels like everything's more balanced and glued together a little bit. All right, now let's take off everything except for the mix bus again, and then you'll hear with everything on again. turn everything off. And that's the mix that you guys heard on the videos, the shorts, the reels, and on the video of the out-of-the-box tone that you heard for these 4 mics, the same mix. Now, to have some fun, let's add the new Waves Magma Stress Box. Let's turn it on first. Let's see what it does. We're going to set to 1 to 1, which is not going to do nothing. Ready? If I pull it left, gonna kind of gate the sound a little bit, expand the sound. We push it up. That's nice, I like that. Now let's push it to the limits. Now I could see most likely using this for like a parallel kind of thing. I just have it here on for funsies, and I like it. It's cool. It's fun. Fun little free plugin, and it adds pretty much what all these here would do, and then some. So without further ado, I'm not going to go through the compressors one by one. They're all doing the same sort of thing, compressing, ratios, blah, blah, blah. So here is without the compressors on. Compression on. Tapping the kick. Okay, the overheads are doing a little bit more than I remembered. Hitting about 3 to 4 dB of compression. And same thing. A little bit more on that floor tom hit. Makes sense as it's closer. And the distressor on the room mic. Yeah, this makes sense. Heavy compression on the room mic. And then if we add the magma, all the compressors on that are not part of the main. It doesn't fall apart, it's just a different sound, right? It's just not as in your face. It's I kind of, I didn't really like it too much with the compressors before, but I like it now. I actually do like it a lot with this on too. Just kind of like overloading it, it's fun. Alright, one last time, everything off. Alright, everything on. So yeah, that is out of the box tones, the mix, and yeah, not too much. Just a little bit of mix bus magic, I guess you would call it. Because the stuff on the plugins on the individual channels, minus the compressors, not doing a whole lot. Just adding color, adding tone. And on the next video, which will be the full microphone mix breakdown, that is where we'll get a little bit more technical with some more plugins, more fun. But you don't need these plugins. I'll probably do, you know what, maybe I'll do an out of the box stock edition of this video where I just use stock plugins so you can maybe get the same sound using stock plugins, Logic stock, Ableton stock. So that's something you guys want to see. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see stock plugin videos, because you know not everyone has these fancy plugins. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe if you want. If not, I'll catch you in the next video.